Hello and good evening and welcome to the shed. Hashtag Irish Bros Mafia with me, Trevor. It's the Thursday night show. It's the show before the AFC and NFC championship games this coming Sunday, and it's brilliant to be a part of it. You're very welcome along to the show. Tonight's show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick talk about last weekend's games, and then I'm going to do a quick preview on the Commanders Eagles game, and then I'm going to talk about the Bills Chiefs game, the big one, the AFC Championship. So you're very welcome along. So last weekend we had the divisional round. We had the Texans at the Chiefs, the Commanders at the Lions, we had the Rams at the Eagles, and we had the Ravens at the Bills. And the games, some of them delivered very well, and then some of them kind of delivered. The most disappointing, to be honest, probably was the Texans at the Chiefs. The Chiefs won at 23-14 and were the better team. Mahomes and Kelsey, he had his best day. He had 117 yards receiving. That's one of his best games so far this year. But CJ Stroud got sacked 8 times. The offensive line for the Texans let them down. Their defense did keep them in the game a good bit. But in fairness, the Chiefs won, and we're playing them this Sunday, and I wouldn't have it any other way. This is, if you're going to be the best, you have to beat the best, and we're going to face them now Sunday, and we're going to see what's going to happen. Then on Saturday night, I didn't see it live. I've seen some of the clips from it since, but there were some amazing plays in it. Was the Commanders at the Lions. This was a shocker, but it was also a very good game. The Commanders won 45-31. Jaden Daniels was absolutely outstanding. A lot of question marks now about Jared Goff from the media, but like the Lions were 15-2 before the playoff, so 15-3 is their season. It's disappointing that they're out for them. They were one of the favourites to win the Super Bowl, but you can't class that as a bad season, and you can't class Jared Goff as a bad quarterback. And what annoys me, and I will be honest about it, especially from the American media more so than anything else, is if you don't do it in the playoffs, you're not good enough, which is absolute BS. Because you can do it in the playoffs, but if you're not good enough to get your team to the playoffs, you're not good enough either. So people need to relax. Only one team can win the Super Bowl. Every team is chasing it. I'm lucky. My team is now in the Final Four before this weekend's games. But there's 28 other teams that some of them really tried, really did put it in, really almost got there, and for different reasons didn't. And there's other teams in that weren't good enough, and that's fair enough. You rebuild when you don't have good enough, and a lot of teams are doing that. But to say that one week Jared Goff is an outstanding quarterback and blah, 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 and the next week he loses, and to an exceptional team that played very, very well, and all of a sudden Jared Goff is for the bin, out with him. That's why the Rams got rid of him. It wasn't all Jared Goff's fault. Their team scored 31 points. The defense went a bit AWOL because the Commanders scored 45. And last thing I'm going to say is congratulations Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn and the Commanders, because they went from a 4-13 team in 2023-24, and they're now in the NFC Championship game and all to play for this Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles in 24-25. So what a turnaround, and well done. Now, I will be honest, I watched the first hour of the Chiefs-Texans game live, and I was working the next day, so I went to bed, and I didn't see anything live of the Lions-Commanders game because I was, as I said, working. So I seen the plays and the highlights, and that was as far as I seen of it. So I can't give you a right gauge fully on what I exactly thought about it. On Sunday night's games, I did watch the Rams-Eagles, and I did watch the Ravens-Bills. So the Rams-Eagles, the Eagles won 28-22, probably deserved it. The Rams came back at the end. Matthew Stafford led down a drive, then got a touchdown. Then the Eagles were stopped and they punted, and then they went down again looking for a touchdown to win the game. It was snowy and heavily snowy, and it was exciting to a point, but the Eagles kind of always were in the driving seat. And to be fair, if they'd lost that game, on the way both teams played, I think it would have been an injustice. Saquon Barkley was exceptional. Jalen Hurts again was quiet but effective, and they got the win. And their defense stood up when it counted, and that's what you want. And then Sunday night we had the Bills and the Ravens, and everyone had this build up, including myself, and I was revved for it and looking forward to it, and it didn't disappoint. I didn't expect a 31-7 victory or anything like that because the Ravens were not that team. They were a team that's, up there with the best of them. And I was very happy, very excited, enjoyed the game, and I enjoyed the victory. And to be fair, we deserved the victory. I hear a lot of pundits going, "Oh, the Ravens were coming back in the second half," and yes, they were, but they didn't. And the other side was, where were they for the first half? It's a 4-quarter game. The Bills blew them out of the water. Von Miller was exceptional. Matt Milano, exceptional. Our defense did its job. It stopped the run. It stopped Derrick Henry. He did get a rushing touchdown near the end, but before that, there was no 87 yards run or anything like that. He was kept very quiet. Lamar Jackson, there's a lot of blame put on him for certain media outlets, and I think it's kind of wrong. There's always going to be a winner and always going to be a loser. And my hat's off to Lamar for the way he accepted the loss, the way he congratulated Josh Allen and wished him all the best. A lot of people, when you hear them talking, they don't mean it. In fairness to Lamar, you could understand and feel that he genuinely did. I watched Hard Knocks, the AFC North there last night, and a lot of people are saying that the Ravens threw it away rather than the Bills win because of Mark Andrews' drop pass for the 2-point conversion that would have probably sent the game to overtime. But just remember, we had time on the clock and we have Josh Allen. So if it did tie, who's to say we wouldn't go down and score? And what I seen from the Bills last weekend was a very conservative Josh Allen doing everything safely, and the running game worked with James Cook and Ray Davis got a rushing touchdown, and Ty Johnson. The short passes to Knox, Kincaid, and Curtis Samuel worked, and when he had to go long to Shakir, he did. And he played a very effective game, and he got 2 rushing touchdowns himself. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the victory. I was up for it, like I am already for this weekend's game, because nothing against the Ravens. They're an exceptional team, and John Harbaugh has them well coached. But we needed to make a statement win. And we are 10-0 for our season at home. And it's a great way to be for a team that was written off by so many at the start of the year. And I want to congratulate all the Bills players, but the job's not done. We're 2 more steps away, and we're not looking at the second step until we get past the first one, which is this Sunday night. And now my next piece, I will talk about that. Out of the 4 games, before I go on, I got 3 right. I got the Chiefs, I got the Eagles, I got the Bills, and I got the Lions wrong. But it was a very hard one to go and say the Commanders were going to go into Detroit and beat them as good as they are. But fair play to them, they did. So this weekend, we have the Commanders at the Eagles first, and then we have the Bills at the Chiefs at 11:30. So it's 8 p.m. Irish time and 11:30 p.m. Irish time. So it's not the latest on nights, which is good, but we'll enjoy it anyway. So the Commanders at the Eagles. The Eagles are, by, again, pundits, probably have the best team on paper in the NFL. In fairness, Saquon Barkley is, as on the offensive side, is carrying them. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith is there when Jalen Hurts does throw it. And he also has Dallas Goddard as well, who is an exceptional tight end. On the defense, Cooper DeJean is playing brilliant. Jalen Carter and Darius Slay, amongst others, are, have a very good defense. And then you take the Commanders side. You have a rookie quarterback who is playing exceptional, and deservedly, if he gets it, and he should get an MVP rookie quarterback of the year in Jaden Daniels. He's Brian Robinson at running back, Terry McLaurin, Devani Brown at wide receiver, and Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz at tight ends. These are very, very good and experienced footballers. Bobby Wagner, Dorian Armstrong, Deontay Fowler Jr., and Marshawn Lattimore. Again, in defense, they have very experienced defenders as well, and they're playing very well. So it's going to be a very hard game to call. It's 1-1 in the head-to-head for the normal season or the regular season. So again, you don't have a real insight to which team, is out there. Jalen Hurts is carrying a knee injury, and they don't know how serious it is. So it's a toss of a coin. My heart wants to say the Commanders because it'd be nice to see them there. We've seen the Eagles a few years ago, nothing against Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. But to be honest, I do think the Eagles at home will be too strong for the Commanders. And on that reason, there's not a lot between them. And Commanders have gone to Tampa and the Commanders have gone to Detroit. And on both times, they've proven me wrong and they've beaten them. But I just think this will be one step too far for the Eagles, or for the Commanders on Saturday night or Sunday night at the Eagles. But I wish them well. I wish both teams well. Not going to put me up or down. I'm only concerned about the other side. So on the other side, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going to talk about the game first, and then I'm going to give you my points. So the game is probably, in my tiers of quarterback, I have, and I'm going to go off this year, tier 1 quarterbacks in the NFL, and I no disrespect to anyone, is Josh Allen, is Joe Burrow, is Lamar Jackson. And because he's won 2 Super Bowls and he's only lost 1 game all year so far, is Patrick Mahomes. So you have 2 guys in the top tier quarterbacks playing against each other. You have an offensive line that has been second to none in the NFL in the Buffalo Bills, and you have a defensive line that was Spagnuolo for the Kansas City Chiefs that are very, very experienced and have won them games when they shouldn't have won during the season. Our defense is improving every week, thank God, and their offense is stuttery at times, sometimes can click and sometimes doesn't. But Mahomes gets the job done for them, so he's a guy that we're going to have to watch. It's the game I have waited for, to be honest, since last year, but it's the game I've waited for since 13 seconds, is to go to Kansas City in the playoff, in the AFC Championship game, them reigning Super Bowl champions, and take them out. And that's what we're going to do Sunday night. And you might say, you're a bullish Bills fan, what do you know, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not a bullish Bills fan, but I'm a confident Bills fan because I've seen this team develop, mature, embrace each other, become a team all year, look out for each other. When we hit our lows, we come back, we fight. It starts at Brandon Bean. He's the guy behind the scenes, but in front of the scenes, it starts with Sean McDermott. I like Sean McDermott against the Houston Texans there in the year. If it was his call, made an awful call in the last play, but he learned. When we went up against Kansas City the last day in the regular season, when it was that 4th and 2, it wasn't a field goal. It was, we were going for it. It was a statement, and we did it. Against Baltimore last weekend, there was times where he made statement plays, whether it be in defense or offense, to say, we're not afraid of he, we're as good as he. And we are. And this is the thing for me. I heard that Buffalo is a city of losers. That's grand. If you want to think we're a city of losers, I am physically not in Buffalo, but I consider myself part of Buffalo now. I am part of their culture, and I love it. And if you want to think that, that's fine. But when you kick a dog enough, and the Bills have been kicked enough, when they miss something, it's they're not lucky enough, they're not good enough. When they do something like we beat the Ravens last weekend, the Ravens didn't turn up. But when you kick a dog enough, the dog eventually bites back. And this Sunday, the dog is going to bite back. It gave a little narrow last Sunday, but I believe in Josh Allen. And I know Josh Allen because Josh Allen has the same imprint as I have. We're miles apart, worlds apart, different apart. But I can see in him, me, and I know me. When things go wrong, I want to put them right. And I know they're going to be right this Sunday. And I know the Bills are going to win this Sunday. And I know we're going to a Super Bowl. And I haven't looked at the Super Bowl all year, and I'm not going to look at the Super Bowl. We're going to Kansas. We're going to beat Kansas. We're going to beat Mahomes. We're going to beat Kelsey. We're going to beat Andy Reid. We're going to beat Chris Jones. We're going to beat Pacheco. We're going to beat them all. Because we are the Buffalo Bills. And it's our turn in the story. And I have total respect for the Chiefs. They're 2-time Super Bowl champions. They've beaten us a lot. And this rubbish that people put out, oh, but you haven't beaten them in the playoffs. Playoffs are a game of football. Regular season's a game of football. They're all the same. They're football. They're wins and losses. And we've beaten them as much as they have beaten us. And this Sunday, we're going to beat them again. I respect the Chiefs. I respect them. But on Sunday night here in Ireland and Monday morning, we're going to go into Kansas City and we're going to take you out. Bring it on, boys. Can't wait. So, they're my views. And I'm holding back. It's something that you play all season for and you look forward to, and if you get there, you make the most of it. I've had many, many happy days as a Mayo person, looking forward to stuff, and sometimes proving things right, and sometimes they're not going your way. And yes, when you lose, the hurt is bad. But if you get hurt enough, you should learn that you don't get hurt anymore. And that's why this Sunday is going to be different. And the Chiefs don't know hurt, but they will find out Sunday evening. So that's my video for tonight, folks. It's not as long as usual because there isn't as many games. There's been other stuff happening in the NFL, but to be honest, I haven't been watching it because I'm concentrating on this weekend. I hope everyone has a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. We're getting a red weather warning tonight and tomorrow morning into tomorrow. High winds and storms is hitting the whole of Ireland. So I hope everyone stays safe, is happy, and things don't come as bad as what they're promised, but they're promised very bad. In Buffalo, I know there's a lot of snow, bad with snow in that part of America. So I hope everyone is safe there too. But until this Sunday night, stay safe and stay happy. Until next week when we do the video, I hope everyone is safe, happy, and healthy. As always, my friends, go Bills.